are talking about how to recognize and cure perfectionism. So, for those who don't know me, I'm Kim. I help female entrepreneurs to overcome anxiety and perfectionism in 21 days with one session so they can scale their business with ease. So let me just make sure my notes are right. So basically, I wanted to start off by talking about a story. And I had a friend who wanted to start a business and she kept asking me for advice. She was like, what should I do first? What do I do next? Like, how do I get this thing off the ground? And so I was like, okay, like I can give you some advice. I've been running a business in some form or other for at least 10 years. So I can give you some pointers about like how to get started. So I was like, first thing you need to do is like figure out like, who are you going to help? How are you going to help them? Like, what's their problem? How do they speak about it? Like, who's kind of your ideal client? How can you create an offer for them that's going to be super helpful, super impactful for them? And she was like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. And then like a week later, she's like, I hired a graphic designer. And I was like, okay, well, like just as like a little bit of advice maybe from someone who's been running a business for a while, like your logo is not as important as you think it is. People really care more about like your messaging, how you can help them. Like I probably wouldn't put my money there first if I was going to spend money on something in my business, because it's kind of better to make like an investment that's going to make you money back, whereas branding, it's like it's important, but it's probably not the thing I would put the money into first. And she was kind of like, yeah, okay, but I just want to have it like look perfect. And I was like, okay, but it's not so much about things being perfect. It's more about like, do you have something that people actually want to buy? And so she kind of ignored me on that and went and hired like a graphic designer, and she like got a logo made and she was super excited about it. And I was like, cool, that's awesome. Like, good for you. You've got a really nice logo. Like, what are you going to do next to build your business? And then, so I kind of took a step back because I was like, well, it's fine. Like, she's not listening to my advice, and that's okay. Like, if she doesn't want to, she doesn't have to. Like, that's totally fine, but I'm not going to kind of like keep telling someone something that's falling on deaf ears. So a little bit later, she tries to launch her offer, and she doesn't really have like a clear message. She has like no website, there's no sales page, there's no messaging explaining clearly what the offer is or how she's going to help people. And then after that, it sort of looked like her business fizzled out. Like she didn't have, like it just kind of went dead. Like all the social media went dead. Like it was just all quiet. And so a year later now, she doesn't have a business, but she still does have a perfect logo. So what the point of me telling you this story is that this is how perfectionism holds you back. Perfectionism is going to sit there and tell you like, you need to have this, you need to do this right, this has to be perfect, you have to hire a professional to do all of these things so that people will buy from you and you'll have a business, when really that's not the case. People don't buy like your perfect logo or your perfect website. People buy from you because you have something to share with them that resonates with them. They have a problem and you can solve it, and they want to give you money to solve it. At the end of the day, that's what a business is. And so if you're not able to focus on your offer or like get clear on your marketing strategy because you're being held back because you're like, this thing isn't perfect, I need another qualification, like I don't want to put that video out because I don't feel like I look good in it, and you keep coming up with all these excuses that are holding you back, and then a year later, do you think you're still gonna have a business? Probably not, because you're focusing on the wrong things. But your perfectionism is telling you that it's these things need to be perfect before I can do this, which isn't true, because that ultimately perfectionism is fear. It's a fear that you're not good enough. It's a fear of rejection. It's a fear that no one's gonna buy from you. But you can kind of hide behind things if they look perfect on the outside, or if you tell yourself like, oh, I'm just waiting to get this thing right before I put it out. Honestly, being in a business, you are rewarded for taking fast, consistent action, and you can't do that if you're expecting everything to be perfect before you do it. Like, the way things move in entrepreneurship is really quickly, especially when you have an online business. Things are pivoting, things are changing. Like, Reels are in one day, TikTok is in the next day, like this thing, that thing, it's all happening really quickly. And if you're sitting there telling yourself that you're not gonna put something out before it's perfect, you're gonna miss the boat, because the people who are creating success in their business are the ones that they're not afraid to fail. They're not afraid to get it wrong. They're not afraid to mess up. They're not afraid for people to laugh at them on the internet. They're not afraid of these things. Maybe like they wouldn't choose to have them, but they know that ultimately their mission is more important than their fear of those things holding them back. But perfectionism will tell you that you're just trying to do a good job and make things like good enough, if that's even a thing. And that's how it holds you back. So ultimately it ends up self-sabotaging you because you're not doing the things you need to do to build that business consistently. So the thing is, just to recap, perfectionism is fear, and fear is a terrible advisor. So if you want to overcome perfectionism, you need to recognize for what it is. It's a fear of not being good enough. And if you can recognize it for that, you can start to do the work to like work on yourself so that you know that you are good enough. And I'm here to tell you right now that if you exist and you're alive and you're walking around, you are enough. That's all it takes. Sure, there's going to have to be some things that you're going to have to do to get the things that you want. I'm not saying that things will just fall into your lap magically, but the thing is you are enough exactly the way you are, and each time you do it, you're going to get better at it. So don't let that fear of something not being perfect hold you back from what you want to create. So if you don't want to be like my friend in this story, stop waiting to put things out. Stop waiting for things to be perfect in your business. Stop waiting for the perfect circumstances. Stop waiting till you lose like 10 pounds or whatever it is story that you're telling yourself needs to happen before you create that success in your business or even take action or put something out there. So I hope this was helpful for you today. Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe and like if you're on my YouTube channel. And if you need some help overcoming anxiety and perfectionism, book in a free call. We can chat about how I can help you with this. I hope you have an incredible day, and I will talk to you soon.